Peace, 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 peace. Okay. Okay. So heal or heal thyself. Take care of yourself. Recognize what you're doing for healing. Protect what you're doing for healing. Don't be scared to incorporate more stuff. And I don't mean make a list of so many things that you are now overwhelmed. A lot of the things that we need for our well being and health are built in, can be built into our lives. Um, and that our bodies are already prepared to do it. So taking a walk, we shared about that. Getting some sleep, drinking some water. So today, as I was getting ready to set up for this, all I hear is I hear Audrey too singing, "You need blood and he's got more than enough." And I'm going, we're not talking about drinking blood, but it made me laugh because Audrey too wanted exactly what Audrey too wanted. Okay, a couple of things. So, two of the other things that I know are important for me in healing and maintaining wholeness and health in so many different ways are sleep and drinking water. And yeah, I'm going to talk about the things you've heard before and the scientific ramifications to the body and all that stuff. But I also want to talk about the spiritual significance of both of those practices, both of those health practices. So, and it's because of something my daughter. I'll start with that. Something my daughter said to me yesterday. A few years ago, she didn't say this part. A few years ago, there were two actors who were talking about their children and how infrequently they and their children bathed. And it started an uproar on the interwebs. And you know, the same cultural discussions about bathing regularly, not bathing with washcloths, la 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 la, this stuff. So my daughter brings up to me yesterday that she sees this. I don't know if it was on which social media thing it was on, because I guess that doesn't really matter. But some video about um, a black woman saying how she didn't need to bathe every day because something about it was cold out, and she didn't need to bathe because she hadn't sweat. Some foolishness. And how floored my daughter was. And she was like, "Oh my god!" Like she said that. So it made me also want to share about the spiritual benefits of a lot of these things, like even being in the woods. The reason that was another discussion, but I wanted to share about that. Even being in the woods, um, in any tradition that is not Western, all of life is recognized as being divine. There is the recognition that in everything that the Creator has put on the planet, there is a spirit that resides in it. And it doesn't have to have some remarkably beautiful name connected to this long tradition of stories, even though those are amazing too. But there is a spirit in in the trees, in the grass, in the water, in the frogs, in the deer, in the squirrels, because we are all part of the great mystery. We are all part of creation, and that is spiritual, and that spirit is spread through everything, including us. So even when I walk in the forest, if I'm chatting with my sister friend, magnificent, but if I'm by myself, I can hear. I can hear, even when we're chatting, I can hear. We're talking and we're encouraging each other and we're helping each other move through things. And maybe something will go, oh. And it's something I may not have heard if I was in the regular business of, let's make dinner, let's make sure we work, let's make sure we do this, let's make sure we do. Did we do that? Did the clothes get washed? Did you prepare for tutoring? Did you get ready for? If I'm for those 2 hours in the woods, all I can hear is myself and my friend. When it comes to water and sleep, there are things that I've recognized over the years that I need them spiritually. So I'm trying to decide which way to start with the water. Let's just start with spiritually. And there's really no separation, but we live in a world of separation. So I need to break it down that way. Um, but just like the discussion we did on herbs, the purpose of the purpose of any natural thing is consistent all the way through. So In in the tradition that I'm in, the deities we speak to, we often speak of them as Asul, because Asul is water, Asul is river, Asul is, there's many different ways that water is spoken to. And like I shared before, as I shared before, either one, that I had the opportunity in Makasem to sit at a body of water that is named for a goddess that reflects her energy, and that water is honored uh, for her. Water is water, and in many places, things that are life are recognized as holding a particular spiritual energy, and water is life. So when it comes to, for me, the spiritual practices of water, of course, like I spoke about making spiritual baths before, and water is prominent in it. If we are making a spiritual bath and all of the other accoutrements, all the other herbs and scents and oils and whatever are not being chosen, just the water is enough to carry your intention. And ooh, thought that was a sneeze. The water is enough to carry your intention. A quick aside that connects this: if anyone has ever looked at, there were studies online that showed how the um, crystal makeup in water changes based upon how it's spoken to. That if it's spoken negatively to, how that looks. When prayers are said over it, how that looks. When affirmations are spoken into it, how that looks. So that would be cool if you haven't seen that to look that up. So again, if there's none of all the beautiful herbs and things that we spoke about available, a spiritual bath can still be made with the water and the spiritual intention of the person who's creating it. In addition to that, bathing itself, when my daughter brought that up to me about, I can't believe this black woman says she's not bathing, um, that she's not bathing every day, and that she's. I said one of the things what you hear me say over and over again, and I hear Q-tip in my head, but it's the truth, is that black is black. And so one of the things that people have begun, unfortunately, to ignore is that we don't just bathe to get our bodies clean. We don't bathe, just to make sure we're not funky. We bathe because it is it is a therapeutic thing to stand in the water or to slide into a bath. That heat feels good on the body. We are mostly water. The earth we're on is mostly water. The atmosphere we breathe in has components of water. Like, there's so many things. So we return to the water to clean ourselves, but also to cleanse ourselves. So, of course, in tradition, I'm grateful that there are places where we're encouraged to bathe, either because it's a spiritual bath, or you're just cleansing or whatever. But I know that in places that are not the U.S., uh, and I'm talking about the general culture, not us as Black people, there are places all around the world where people are bathing 2 or 3 times a day. Um, so for me personally, I bathe in the morning. I bathe again at night, especially if I've been out of the house. I'm not going to lay my dirty body down in my bed, or my body that has carried the energy of the rest of the day down in my bed, that is somewhere outside of the sanctuary that I've created for myself in my home. So I was saying that to my daughters, that this woman saying she doesn't need to bathe because her armpits don't smell is ignoring the fact that bathing is a cleansing, that it is a spiritual cleansing. It is the opportunity to awaken yourself to a new day, cleansing off the sleep and re-energizing yourself. It is the opportunity to return to your home after a day and cleanse off any energy that was someone else's, anything from the day that you do not need to take with you into rest. So even that, I was going, wow, that's it's and it's not just, for those of us who want to do that African thing. There are quite a few Black people who um, of all ages who bathe twice a day. I have a sister friend who bathes in the morning, she bathes at night because she's not putting her body in the bed without it being clean. We don't put our outside clothes and our outside body into our inside sheets. There's another elder I went to go see one time, a friend's father, and I wanted to go see him because I needed work on the car. And it was the evening, it was after work. I was like, okay, we can go over and see him now. And he said, well, I can't come see you right now because I've just taken my bath. His day is shut down. He has bathed for the night. The day is done. Whatever that is with y'all, I'm moving into the next thing. I'm moving into rest and rejuvenation. I have bathed. So that is along with all the benefits that I'm going to run through about water, that ability to be in water and to cleanse the day off or to rejuvenate yourself for the day is priceless and ain't got nothing to do with the smell of your triangle and whether or not other people can detect it or not. It's good spiritual hygiene. So of course, here are some of the things that to look out for your body. If I remember, I didn't know when I was a little kid if I was not drinking a bunch of water and my urine was dark that I was a sign of dehydration. I just knew I wasn't drinking enough water. But we have uh, uric acid and different things in our body that we need to dilute. When you see someone with gout, that acid is collecting around their joints. So if your urine is dark, you're dehydrated. If your lips are dry, you're dehydrated. If your mouth is dry, and a dry mouth is usually a funky mouth, if it's dry, you're dehydrated. I remember going with the homeschool co-op through the DC Metro and seeing a brother standing inside one of the, he worked for the Metro, and he was standing inside one of, the, I don't know, kiosks to help people. And he looked like he was going to pass out. And I had just learned, I don't know, recently that that was a sign of dehydration. So the water bottle I had in my bag, uh, to open later to drink, I handed to him because that is another sign of dehydration. You're dizzy, you feel faint. There's not enough water in the body, and the headaches, muscle cramps, not enough water in the body. So the things that water does for the body is even with the muscle cramps. I was talking to you yesterday about synovial fluid and how it makes me feel like a big hubba bubba with like juice in my joints. Is that it lubricates the joints, it lubricates the muscles. Our brains are clearer. There's less brain fog when we are drinking our water. Our digestion and kidney health is amazing when you drink water. We talk about supporting the metabolism, having clearer urine. Um, if you're drinking more water, you can't be jamming food in or eating food with lots of water. And fiber also makes it difficult to just jam food in because it's an emotional eating moment, or the body will be full of water and not feel the need to snack, snack, snack. Not that snacks are bad, but snacking in excess. Um, Drinking water helps us regulate our body temperature, both in the cold and in the heat. Water is so necessary for our body function. And then the other thing that I love teaching and I loved learning was that our largest organ is the skin, is the skin. And drinking water, I mean, there's the fountain of youth is inside of ourselves. There's no magic. Let me not say there's no. The goal is not to find a fountain of youth that makes us look young forever because we have had the blessing of living for whatever age. If you're 16, if you're 26, 36, 46, 56, 66, whatever, the blessing of being alive in our skin is a blessing. And so uh, I wouldn't jump on here and say, these are the things to do to turn back the clock. There are things to do, however, to honor the clock. And drinking water to honor our largest organ is magnificent to make sure that the skin stays moisturized, that it stays as supple as it's supposed to be at the age where we are by drinking water. And then again, when I spoke about spiritual benefits and the benefits of um, bathing, bathing to begin the day, and then bathing to close the day out, closing the day is winding down into rest. And so when I talked about walking, talked about our diurnal clock. And so that our body cranks up when the sun is coming over the horizon. Um, just so many beautiful things in the body that are stimulated by the sun and stimulated by the sun going down. So it's time to sleep, and as sleep is coming, it's time to disengage from blue lights. And I'm not always great at blue lights and get things out of our face and things that will distract us and allow our bodies to wind down. Sleep is supportive of our immune system. It is supportive of our heart and physical health. Uh, it's supportive of our mental health. It is helpful with weight management because my son was saying yesterday, I said, honey, did you make breakfast before you go to class? Because sometimes he will get hangry. And he said, but a fast does this and this and this and this. And I said, right, when you're sleeping, you are fasting. But if I fast a little longer, then there's a greater benefit. Okay, he can work that out. Long as he's eating and not hurting himself, and he can figure that time out for himself. Uh, but sleeping does, it gives us a chance that our digestive system relaxes, which is why we're encouraged to stop eating however many hours before bed, or I've heard people say sundown, I've heard people say 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, whatever it is, to give the body a chance to slow down in preparation for rest. The fact that our elimination processes in the body, urine and defecation, slow down to the point that it allows us to rest. It means we can't keep jamming in food because then it can't really rest because it's got to get you up to go eliminate and get those things out. And slowing down the eating also gives the body a chance to regenerate and rejuvenate and heal and resting, um, which helps with the weight management. Safety, because when we're not sleeping properly, we are also not our reaction time is off. So driving is difficult. Um, Thinking, walking, making decisions, being in communication, also difficult. But there are spiritual benefits, of course, to sleeping as well. So, you know, there are times where you want to be very aware of what you are putting in, into your body, into your body, into your body. And so going to sleep, um, there's an encouragement that you can journal at the end of the day what you're grateful for, going to sleep in gratitude, going to sleep in reflection, in grateful reflection, thinking about things that you're trying to work out and going to sleep on them, and allowing rest and interdimensional travel in your sleep to work those things out. I like to sew. I shared with you all before that it is a family talent. And early on in my sewing, especially for my little ones, I had an elder who said to me, I had cut all these patterns and I was going to run through the patterns and make all the little dresses and the little pants. And she said that you should cut your pattern and then sleep on it and come back the next day. Or there are times where I've gotten to a place in sewing and I'm like, this looks crazy. And if anyone out there sewed and has ever sewn the inside of a garment to the outside of a garment, like you have a sleeve that should be wrong side on the inside and the wrong side is on the outside. Oh, it's terrible. It's a terrible feeling. So when I get to places like that in sewing and I feel like my brain and body have had enough, I'll go to sleep. And usually the next morning I come with fresh eyes. If I couldn't figure out how to line something up, I now know. The same thing is true of anything else that I'm working through, anything else that I'm pouring libation and praying toward. Rest is an incubation. It is a chance, especially in deep sleep, it is a chance to, again, step out of ourselves and to allow the all that is within us to connect to the all that is around us and to work a lot of those things out, to untie those knots, to lay things straight. To people will say, "You don't have to answer right now, go sleep on it." Yeah, sleep on it. Give it a minute, give it a chance. Let all your ancestors and the Boson and the Orisha and the guides, let them all work while you are resting. Let them work when your defenses are down, when you are not saying this won't work because of that, or it has to be like this for this. Let them help you in that space of complete surrender and safety in sleep, in just a beautiful place of relaxation and reception. So sleep allows that too. And so for these two, I was like, ooh, with water and with sleep, sleep is where I dream. Sleep is where if there's a message coming, because I hear them awake and sleep and asleep. But sometimes it's so much more it's so fleshed out and it's so brightly colorful and it's so tangible in my sleep. It's I can see it, I can walk through it, I can touch it, I can feel it. And so I've for all of the benefits that sleep gives me, I need sleep so I can synthesize what I'm hearing during the day and what I'm being given at night. It is very, very necessary. So drink your water, get your sleep, and take care of this and this. Take care of all of it. Drink your water and get your sleep. This is Reverend Okomfo Mwalimu Yogi, Sister Mama Adia, saying peace and take care of yourself. There's so many ways to heal ourselves. So many beautiful ways to heal ourselves that feel so very good. Make sure you use